How you doing, guys? I've got another little craft beer review for you here today. I was in the old NSLC yesterday, hoping to come across the Garrison Three Fields Harvest Ale. Turns out they didn't have them out on the shelves. I should have pushed a little harder to get a couple, because I know they had them up back there in their warehouse, but turns out they got them on their shelf now. It's listed on the website that they have them now this morning, so they've probably stocked them last night. This after I've already boxed up all my beer mails. So what I'm going to do is I'm still going to go and see if I can get a hold of a bunch of them, and then I'm going to send a couple out here and there, maybe next week. Next week's pay week, so I can afford to do that. But as I was saying, I was looking for new stuff, and I found this. This is a beer from a brewery in BC, established 1985, called Okanagan Spring. And this is their pale ale. I guess this is their flagship beer, and this has been brewed since 1989. There's all kinds of information on this bottle. 5% alcohol by volume. It's got a little color scale here. They have that for all their beers, and you go on their website, you can see it too. It says it scores a 6, and that is a copper on their color scale. So this is 9 to 11 degrees Celsius is the ideal drinking temperature. This brewery was bought out by Sleeman in 1996, and of course Sleeman was bought by Sapporo in, I think, 2000, something like that. So essentially this is a craft brewery that's owned by a big multinational. Okay, Okanagan Spring Pale Ale. They weren't lying about the color. That's a straight up copper. See through it. You look through it and your fingers look like blood orange kind of color. But yeah, that's a straight up copper. That's copper wire right there, you know. The head, around a half a finger or a finger's worth. Foamy. I don't think it's going to stick around too much though. A little bit off-white. So we'll go right to the aroma. So I think they're going for sort of a British style pale ale. This isn't anything North American with all kind of hops. Very malt forward. Toasty, toffee-ish kind of malt. A little gritty. You know what? Straight up, it reminds me of Big Rock's brews. Sort of the same malt character. Getting little to no hops. Maybe a little bit of minerally hoppiness in the end there, but it reminds me of Big Rock's traditional ale, actually. Although it smells better. It's a bit stronger. Okay, so we'll go right to the taste, I guess. Again, reminds me a lot of Big Rock's traditional ale. Also their Warthog Ale, which I find is fairly similar to their traditional. Slight malt sweetness, not a lot, but it is malty up front. More of that sort of toasted grain quality. A little bit of toffee. The hops come out a bit more in the taste. There's a minerally kind of dryness at the end. Most likely a one of those earthy British hops being employed. It's not big on flavor, but there's enough flavor there to make you notice. Light, medium-bodied, you know, on the lighter side of medium. Drinks down very smooth, very creamy. A little bit of carbonation, just a little sting, just to let you know that it's there. It's good. I would buy this over a Big Rock. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to slag a Canadian craft brewery, but honestly, I'd buy this over Big Rock's traditional ale anytime. I'll probably never buy Big Rock's traditional ale again if I can get this in its place. Let's put it that way. It tastes like a more flavorful version of that, and that's not to say this is an amazing craft brew. It's just very drinkable, very sessionable. Falls somewhere more into a British style, although it doesn't quite have the sort of the British earthy hops. It doesn't quite have the strength of hop character that good, solid British session bitter would. But it's close. This is much more accessible, much more friendly for craft beer novices, and I think that's basically where this sits. It's another one of those introduction to craft brews. It's definitely better than any pseudo craft brew you get from Molson or Keith's or Molson or Labatt or you know, any of those places, those big companies that are trying to pretend. And it's a good beer. You know, it's not amazing or anything, but it's just highly drinkable, highly sessionable, nondescript kind of, you know, above average craft beer. And for that, I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. I hope we get more of their lineup in the NSLC. I see they got a porter, they've got some sort of uber hopped friggin' lager. You got some sort of roasted chocolate coffee dark Euro lager thing going on. I was looking at that when I was trying out their color scale or whatever, and their porter is like scores a 10 on their color scale, so it must be like pitch black. All right. So Okanagan Spring Pale Ale, just showing up in the NSLC. I'd say go out and get it. Give it a try. I think if you've had the Big Rock Traditional Ale and you like that, I think you'll definitely love this. This is a much better choice, I'd say. It just drinks better, tastes better, and you know, it's like their Big Rock's Traditional Ale on steroids, essentially. All right, guys. Cheers.